Hi everyone, I'm Kirsty and today I thought I would go through my top 10 K-pop songs of 2022. So every year I make like a playlist of my favorite songs of the year. Normally I just kind of make it as I go along, but this year I actually finally made like a 2022 whole year playlist that I then picked songs from. Most years I'm in the dark and I get stressed out. The other problem was this year, I really struggled with my top songs. Like, I feel like my top 10 was easy, but everything from 10 to about 60, I just really struggled with. I sat there and I'd be like, right, I think I've got it. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, I'm in shambles, everything's wrong, I don't like it. Like, I did like a song sorter to kind of get myself started on it, you know, to see where I really was placing things. And then I looked at it and I was like, no, that's in the wrong place. That is in the wrong place. And like, this is just my top 10. I have a whole top 60 something because I keep adding stuff and taking away stuff and adding stuff and moving things around. And so I'll link the playlist down below, but just know it's still subject to change because I don't know. But my top 10 has not changed since I made this. Like, my top 10 is set. So I thought we would discuss that today. Let me know your top 10 songs of the year, if you have similar ones to me or not. This is just my top 10, so it's my opinion. It's not like these are the definitive best songs. It's just the songs that I personally think were the best and I enjoyed the most of this year. So yes, without further ado, let's get started. So coming in at number 10, we have Hype Boy by New Jeans. I feel like this is a very, I don't know, I think a lot of my top 10 is kind of safe songs, but also it's like, there's a reason they did well. So yeah, I really like Hype Boy. I'm not as much a fan of the other songs from New Jeans, but Hype Boy really snuck up on me. I didn't even listen to New Jeans when they first came out because I felt a little bit strange about like the whole age thing and the stuff with the director of their company. But this song just kept popping up on my FYP. It was all over TikTok. I kept seeing people doing this dance with it. And I was like, okay, I need to listen to that song. It is so good. Like, I don't know. There's just something about it that's kind of like nostalgic, but then also very fresh and new. And it's just really nice and very polished and well done. And I think it's just a great, solid song, honestly. And it's definitely made me more likely to pay attention to New Jeans, just because it's just such a good song. There's a reason it's charting so well, you know. It's solid. At number 9, we have World by 17. So I've been following 17 since they debuted, like with Akinda. I remember watching that music video and just being obsessed with them. And I just really, really like them. I've paid attention to them since debut. I wouldn't say I stan them in like the same way I stan other groups, but I always make sure I check their stuff out. And I feel like I've been looking for something from them for a while now that gives me similar feelings to their earlier releases. And I'm not trying to say that to be like, oh, I liked 17 in their early days. Like, I never want to be that person, and I always do check out their stuff, but for me, nothing has been hitting quite as much as stuff like Aju Nice, Manse, Akinda, Oh My. Like, I haven't had those same feelings for a long time. And then World came out and I was like, oh, this is the 17 I love. And it's like it's a different sound to the songs I mentioned. Like, it is not the same sound at all, but it gives me those same vibes of just, I don't know, just sheer happiness and just like, oh, this just makes me feel so comfy and cozy and happy. And I just really like it. And it's a very me kind of song. Like, I love the vibes of World. I don't know. There's something about it that just feels so nice. At number 8, we have Last Sequence by Uju Sonyo. And surprisingly, well, I don't know if it's surprising. Uju Sonyo are one of those groups that like, I think I don't necessarily stan, but somehow their music is always in like my top 10s. So this is one of 2 songs from Uju Sonyo this year in my top 10. They were the only person in my top 10 twice, or only group in my top 10 twice. So yeah, it's Last Sequence. Fantastic song. Just fantastic. The styling on it is phenomenal. The song itself is, it's just so good, so sleek, so wonderful. I feel like Uju Sonyo are in a similar boat to Twice in that they kind of started aging up their music around a similar time, and both of them have done it really well. I think it's very difficult when you start with a certain concept. Like with Twice, they had the kind of more bubblegum pop, and Uju Sonyo had that like magical girl, twinkly, sparkly kind of vibe. And I think Uju Sonyo have done a fantastic job of not alienating their core fandom and fan base, but have aged up their music really well. I think what they're doing with their music really works for them. I think part of it is because like the current sound they're going for is stuff that they've been doing for a while in B-sides, so it just felt like natural for it to then become their main title tracks. And Last Sequence is honestly so good. I don't know. I think they're a phenomenal group, and I think they're really underappreciated as well. Like, I don't know. I think they're really underhyped as well. Like, they're a really well-known group, but they don't get the hype that other groups get, despite how flawless their discography is. Like, I have so many favorite B-sides from them, and their title tracks are always really good. They're a very sleek group. Like, their singing is phenomenal. Their rapping is just so good. The choreography always hits. They're just a really, really great group, and I just wish they were shooting to the heights that some of the other groups on this list were. But what can you do? I really enjoy Uju Sonyo, and Last Sequence is really great. It's a really great title track. So number 7 is a really interesting one. Most of you have probably never heard of this group before. They're called Road B. They were previously known as BXK. So they're like a not very well known boy group. The reason I came to know about this song is because my friend James said to me, hey, there's a new Sweet Tune track. And I was like, where? As I've been in K-pop a very long time, like 11 years, and Sweet Tune are one of my favorite production duos, companies, groups ever. Like, I think because I got into K-pop during their height for Kara, Infinite, Nine Muses, like there's not a lot that hits the way that Sweet Tune music does, and this song is so good. Like, it's very 2012, 2013 Infinite. Go listen to it. It is so good. Like, if you love that era of sound in K-pop, like the kind of really synthy harmonic vocals, like everyone's in harmonies, it's so good. I love it so much, and I'm just so happy to hear a Sweet Tune song. And it's nice for me to hear a new boy group as well, because I normally don't go out of my way that much to check out new boy groups, so definitely please go check it out. It is so good. At number 6 we have Vision by Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher are my favorite currently promoting group. They're just really amazing. I got the chance to see them last month for the 2nd time ever, and they're just one of the best groups around. And like, I know I'm biased, but genuinely they are so good. Like, I think them getting a win this year was like so late, because they should have got a win so long ago. They're just fantastic. So Vision is a really great song. Like, it's got that kind of cyberpunky vibe I've been really digging lately. I think it's the kind of song I've been wanting Dreamcatcher to do for a while, because it really works for them, I think. Unfortunately, I didn't love Maison as much as I wanted to this year, and I think that's quite a common feeling within Insomnia. Like, Maison was great. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite thing Dreamcatcher I've ever done. Whereas Vision, I love from the outset. I adored Vision. I love the styling. It reminded me of like Brown Eyed Girl's Sixth Sense in a way. That kind of, I don't know, it had like a rebellion feel and like a coming together to make sure everyone's voices were heard in a way. I don't know. Like, I love the concept. I love the song. It was just really great, a really great comeback from them. And I'm really intrigued to see where we're going to go next with Dreamcatcher, because they've signed to continue their deal, which is very, very rare for a group that is not on one of like the big three, big four, big five. I don't know what big we're on these days. So I'm just like, especially girl groups. And I'm just so excited to see where we're going to go with them now. And I think Vision is a great, like, I don't know. It's just great. I love Vision. We are entering the top 5 now. So coming in at number 5, we have Love Dive by IVE. I wasn't a massive lover of 11 when that came out. So I was kind of like, I'm not sure about IVE. I'm really not sure. I felt like they were a little bit overhyped. Then Love Dive came out and my God, my brain was just narcissistic, but gotta, like, that was my brain for months. That was all that was in my head, was just like, that whole part was just stuck there for months. And like, this song is so good. Like, it's quite simple, but it just, I don't know, there's something about it that is just so incredibly addictive. And like, there's a reason it charted so well for so long. It's because it has that way of just taking over your brain and making you, oh, I can't even like talk about how much I love it, because it's just so good. And that final chorus as well, where it kind of, the ooh, it's kind of a bit more elevated. It's just, it slaps. That's all I can say, is it slaps, honestly. And I'm so glad we were graced with that song this year. I didn't love Afterlike as much as Love Dive. I think a lot of people prefer Afterlike, but for me, it wasn't my fave. But Love Dive, just chef's kiss, you know? It is so good. And then at number 4, we have our second Uju Sonyo song, which is Done, which is their B-side from the Sequence album, mini album, single thing. I don't know. It's only got like 3 songs on it, but yeah. I really love Done. There's something really addictive about it, and I don't know why. I love it so much. Like, there's something about it that just feels really slick and really good, and it's just a really great song. And I especially love that part where it's like, we break up in the end now. I love that bit a lot. And I love the bit that's like, like on the bridge kind of part. I feel like that really works. As I'm coming to the end of this list, I'm running out of like words to say about the songs, because they're all really great songs. So it's hard for me to kind of describe why I love them, because I just really love them. Like, I'm not a musician. I don't understand musical concepts, but I just hear these songs and I'm like, oh, this is euphoria. This is so good, you know? And I just really love Done. I don't know. It's a really great kind of breakup song, honestly. Like, I feel like a lot of breakup songs can be kind of sad, and there's something about Done that's just like, nah, we're done. I'm moving on from you. And it just feels very adult, and I enjoy it. Number 3 is I Envy You by Taeyeon. It came out very close to the beginning of the year, I think February, and I have been listening to it since. Like, I listen to it a lot. I think it's probably my favorite Taeyeon title track. There's something very ethereal about it, and I think they recognized that when they made it and like released it, because it's kind of like the styling of it and theming of it is kind of like a god's pantheon. And it does like have that vibe. It just feels like I'm ascending when I listen to it. And like her vocals in it are so good. And like going into the final chorus, the ad-libs, I die when I listen to it. They are so good. I have a fair few tracks from this song in my playlist, but also there was a few that I was considering and being in my top songs and maybe just didn't make it because there was a lot of groups that I wanted in here, so I wanted to make sure everyone was represented. But this album is phenomenal. If you have not listened to it, please go listen to it, because it's a masterclass on writing, musicality, and just genuinely incredible vocals from Taeyeon. Like, there is a reason she is known as one of the best vocalists of all time in K-pop, because she is just so good. The way she portrays emotion is just, I love her so much. And yeah, I'm biased because Sonia Stay are like my ultimate favorite groups of all time. They're the reason I got into K-pop. But like, come on, Taeyeon, she is so fucking good. Number 2 is Cyberpunk by 80s, which is a B-side from The World at One, blah, blah, blah. I can't read that from Spotify, but their mini album that Gorilla was on. As you can tell, based on the fact Vision and Cyberpunk are in my top 10, I really love cyberpunk-y kind of songs. You know, I love that kind of synthy sound. I love the futuristic vibes, and Cyberpunk is just phenomenal. Like, it has that sound down to a T, and it works incredibly well. The writers knew what they were doing with this song. From the minute I listened to this, I was like, oh my god, this is my favorite B-side of the year. Like, it was July when I listened to this, and I was like, nothing is topping this. This is the best B-side of the year. Because I just listened to it and I was like, this is just amazing, you know? Like, do you ever listen to a song and you just think this is it? This is my music taste to a T. This has taken me somewhere I didn't know music could take me. That's what Cyberpunk did to me. I love it so much. I adore Cyberpunk. Please listen to it if you haven't. Ugh. Before we go to number 1, which I feel like if you know me, if you've listened to me talking about K-pop, if we have ever had a conversation about K-pop this year, you probably know what number 1 is going to be. But before that, I would just like to give an honorable mention to Forever One by Sonicité. It came 11th on my kind of ranking just because I feel like musically it kind of just falls a little short. But because this year we've had so many good releases, just across the board, girl groups have been killing it this year. So that's the only reason it didn't even hit my top 10, just because like every other song that was above it was just better musically. However, the sobbing I did when Forever One came out, as a Sonicité fan, this felt like I'm even getting emotional thinking about it like right now, because most of us never thought this day was gonna come after Holiday Night. We thought, that's probably it. That's the end. We're not going to get any more. And then they announced that they were doing a 15-year anniversary album. And I'm crying. Like, this is how much I love Sonicité. So yeah, you may be like, Kirsty, you didn't react to this. I'm really surprised. It's because I was sobbing my eyes out. I watched it like over and over, just crying. And I was like, there is no way, like, before I even like watched it the first time, I was like, I can't react to this because I'm gonna be really upset. So that's why I never posted a reaction, because I was just so emotional. But like in the best way. Like, it just felt so good to have them back. And it's like, this song is for the group and for the fans, and it's kind of basic, and I'll admit to that. It's not the best song ever, and that's why it's not in the top 10, but it is number 11 because of the way it made me feel. Like, even listening to this now, I still get emotional. It's been months, and I still sit here going, oh my god, we got Sonicité back. for another album. And that album, by the way, has so many songs in my top thing. So many. There's so many great songs in it. I would say it's comparable to the Japanese first album with how slick the production is on it. SM did not skimp on them just because they're not all signed with them anymore. It's definitely their best Korean album by far. It's just so good. And if you've not listened to it, please do. And number 1 is Glitch by Kwon Eun-bi. If you ever watch my reaction to this, oh my god. I was just like, I have been obsessed with this song since it came out. It's just my vibe to a T. It is so wonderfully slick, so well done. They really popped off when they produced this. Eun-bi herself did a phenomenal job of like the singing, the dancing, the vibes. I think I read somewhere that like she's the one who's really kind of taking control of what her sound is going to be from Ulim, which I find really interesting, and I think she knows what she's doing clearly, because Glitch is just, oh, it's so good. It is so good. There's a reason it's number 1. If you have not listened to it, you need to listen to it. It is, oh, it is so good. And like, the thing about this song that makes it so good is it has so many change-ups in it. But unlike the kind of noise music sound that's quite popular in K-pop, and I like noise music, but unlike that, the change-ups work in like a way that you're like, wait, this makes sense for the song, but whoa, you have taken me somewhere I didn't expect. But like, each chorus is slightly different, not even slightly different. The last one is just like the bridge to the end. Oh my god, I lost my mind. Go back and watch my reaction if you haven't, because I lost my goddamn mind. It is so good. This song is so good. I love it so much, and it's definitely like one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. It's made me pay attention to the producer, writer of this song, Tak. I then went back, and when I saw when I saw his name, I was like, okay, I'm gonna look into him. Went back, discovered so many songs of his that I adore, you know? Like, he was on quite a few Ladies Code songs that I love, some stuff with Keys, some stuff with From His Nine, Golden Child. Like, there is so much. He was involved in Superhuman by NCT 127, which is like one of my favorite songs ever in the history of ever. And I was like, no way. When I saw that, he's a really great producer writer, and like, I'm so glad Glitch made me realize that. But yeah, phenomenal song. All of the songs on this list are really great songs, and K-pop has had a fantastic year this year. I feel like 2021 was not that great for K-pop stuff, in my opinion. I feel like girl groups were a little bit lacking last year, whereas this year it has been so hard to pick the songs I love, because I love so many of them. And I love that. Like, I love listening to music and just feeling so much adoration for what I'm listening to, and when it takes me to a place, you know. I don't really know what else to say to wrap this up, but yeah, please let me know what you loved this year. Do we have any songs similar in our top 10s? And yeah, let me know what was your favorite song of the whole year. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye!